President Trump is facing bipartisan backlash over a social media post. His Truth Social account reposted a video containing a racist image of former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. That post was later taken down. Here's what Democratic Governor Wes Moore and Republican Congressman Mike Lawler said about that racist video yesterday.
I tell my children all the time that an apology is only meaningful if you have no intention of it happening again. And I think that there is no one who truthfully believes that Donald Trump has no intention of making these kind of statements or, frankly, these kind of actions again.
I think sometimes it's just best to say, I'm sorry, and do better. I think the vast majority of Americans recognize that that type of imagery and trying to, compare the first black president to a gorilla or a monkey is insensitive, it's offensive, it's racist.
Now, President Trump claimed he had not seen the full video before it was reposted.
Somebody slipped and missed a very small part. Now, by the way, again, the takeoff one, I guess, I didn't do it, by the way. This was done by somebody else. This was a retruth. That was not done by us.
All right, let's discuss this and more with our political panel. Chuck Rocha is a CBS News political contributor and Democratic strategist. You'll see him on the left of your screen. And Terry Sullivan is also a CBS News political contributor and a Republican strategist on the right. Good morning to you both, gentlemen, this Monday morning. Terry, I want to start with you. I'm wondering if you're surprised at all that it's not just Democrats who came out condemning this post, and why you think, Republicans like Representative Lawler were pretty clear on this. They're big Trump supporters.
Yeah, look, it was offensive, plain and simple. And is the first time Donald Trump has posted something offensive? No, and it won't be the last. Assigning some sort of strategy to it, though, I think goes a bit too far. I think he probably didn't even watch the whole video by the time he hit retweet or had a staffer hit retweet. But yes, it's offensive. The White House should take it down, did take it down. And it's right for Republicans to call him out for it.
And we're seeing a comment there by Black Republican Senator Tim Scott saying the president should take the message down. Chuck, what do you make of that? Should Democrats keep publicly attacking the president over this single post until he apologizes, or are there bigger fish to fry for the Democrats?
I think it's both. Anytime this president and the Republican Party is not talking about affordability, is not talking about reducing costs for the American worker, Democrats are winning because that's what America cares about. You can use this as one more example of things that Donald Trump shouldn't be doing, of course. But I know we're going to talk about special elections in Texas and what's happened in Louisiana and a trend that's been happening across the country. It's not because Donald Trump may be posting racist tweets. It's because the American people are looking for a solution, and they're switching back and forth from Democrat to Republican, looking for somebody who will listen to them. So when Donald Trump is talking about this, he's not talking to them about things they really care about.
Well, Chuck, let's dig into that a bit. As our viewers are aware, over the weekend, a Democrat won a special election. This is for a state House seat in a Louisiana district. President Trump won by 13 points back in 2024. We often hear experts say special elections are different. But could that win signal gains for Democrats in this year's midterms, which is generally predicted?
I don't think it signals any. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chuck.
It does if it's not just this election. And I think Terry was going to say that it's not just one election. If it's just one election, sure, it's a moment in time, maybe something happened. But what's been happening is in the last 18 special elections, there's been an overperformance. That don't just happen if something's not happening on the ground, and that's what's concerning.
So, Terry, are you reading it the same way?
Look, no, because regardless of who wins a state house election, it doesn't predict the next midterm elections. But I will say, talk about Trump winning the district. It's been a Democrat district for a very long time. The previous office holder was a Democrat. So this is not some sort of safe Republican district. Republicans were hopeful they could pick something up here that has traditionally been held by the Democrats. But to the bigger point that Chuck's making, look, there are trends. Every White House always loses seats in their midterm elections, historically speaking. So it will happen this time. The question is how much and how much to read into these special elections. Now, Trump's popularity has never been overly transferable. It's never helped folks who are running in an off-cycle year or not on the ballot with him. And so this is nothing surprising at all.
I'm wondering, Terry, how you think the Epstein files and this whole saga will play into the midterms. Ghislaine Maxwell may invoke the Fifth during her testimony today in front of Congress, but viewers keep telling us they're very interested in understanding what happened and who will be held accountable. But we do continue to see redactions of documents, and the president say this was all really a hoax. Do you think there will be a cost for the president or Republicans come midterms over this?
Well, I don't think he said that the what Jeffrey Epstein did is a hoax. I think what he's talking about is this withholding of information, supposedly. Look, first of all, I think Chuck is exactly right. Every second that Republicans or Democrats aren't talking about affordability issues, kitchen table issues, it hurts them. Look, American people, just because viewers care about this doesn't mean they're going to base before an election on it. And so two things can be true. People are very interested in this spectacle. But there's nothing politically speaking that the Trump administration can do right on this. When they don't redact enough, the victims are very upset, rightfully so. When they redact too much, American conspiracy theorists are too upset. Look, this is kind of a bottomless pit here for the Trump administration, and they're stuck. And if they're not talking about affordability, they're not talking about kitchen table issues, it's not helping them at the ballot box.
And Chuck, what do you make of that? Are Republicans damned if they do and damned if they don't on this topic?
The midterm elections are very different than the presidential elections. Is that what we should all understand here, little campaigns 101? In the midterm elections, there's about 30 to 40%, all depending on turnout, of folks that just don't show up because they only vote every 4 years in a presidential election. So it's about motivation. Motivation, just like we saw last night at the Super Bowl. That's what folks are talking about this morning. They're talking about Bad Bunny and who won and who lost and what song did he sing. That's where regular Americans are this morning. We've got to get in and talk to them about motivating them to then show up and vote. That's what the midterm about is who can get their side the most motivated. And up till this point, after Donald Trump's last elections, the Democrats have been the most motivated.
Well, Chuck Rocha and Terry Sullivan, I appreciate you both waking up early this Monday morning, even though you were partying late night, I'm sure, with your Super Bowl parties. Good to have you here this Monday, gentlemen. Thanks for your time.